Hi. So today I'm going to give my spoiler review of Black Adam. So if you have not seen Black Adam, I am giving you your final warning. There's going to be spoilers in this review. Spoilers for Black Adam. If you have not seen this movie, stop watching right now. Then come back after you've seen the movie. Okay, so the movie begins way back in the past where they start off with this story of this king trying to make this crown, and he forces the people of the land, I forget the name of the land, the king forces the people to search for Eternium. And when I hear that, it makes me think of He-Man and Eternia. But he forces them to look for Eternium, this mineral or material that he needs to make this crown that will give him this, power and make him all powerful or whatnot. So these people are mining the rock in their land for it. Finally, this dude finds the Eternium and he goes to the overseer or whatnot, and he gives him the rock, and he's searching for his reward, and dude just kills him, kind of like Jafar and Jafar on Aladdin, like, you want your reward, I'll give you your eternal reward, and just kills him in front of all the other people, in front of this little boy. And so the little boy starts a rebellion amongst the people and steals the Eternium, and then puts up this little sign amongst the other people, and that starts a movement amongst the people, which the king sorts to see as dangerous. And of course, in order to stop the movement, you gotta kill the leader of it. So they take the little boy to the little palace where the king is, and they're gonna kill him. But just as they're about to kill him, he disappears. And the same little council of people that gave Captain Marvel, and yes, I'm calling him Captain Marvel because that's his name, his power gives this little boy, who in this movie we call Teth Adam, his powers. And and is powered by the same thing, Shazam. So once he says Shazam, he's given the powers. He sort of destroys the king and the palace and everything. And somehow he's, when he destroys everything, he's buried himself underneath the ruins of the castle or the palace or whatever that thing is. And he's buried underneath there until the land needs a hero again. He'll come back when they need a hero again. And then it flashes to, the same country in modern day time, and they're occupied by Intergang, this woman who is also um, a wanted woman, but she's also a scholar, and she's also looking for the crown that the king had made all those years ago. And she knows that the crown is on the verge of being found, and she wants to try to keep it from being um, put into the wrong hands. So she wants to find the crown and hide it again, so it won't be taken by the wrong people. So she goes to the site of where, I guess, to the site of the ruins of the castle, and they go inside, and they see the crown just floating in the air. And she gets the crown, and of course, one of the people she's with is a traitor. And because of course he is. And the Intergang comes and shoots the place up, and they take the crown from her, and they put a gun to her head, and just as they're about to shoot her, she had already had sort of saw the tomb of Teth Adam and had read it before. And she reads it aloud, reads the words aloud on his tomb again. And by reading these words, it wakes him up. And he immediately gets up and just starts killing everyone in sight. just just immediately just disintegrates people. It's just like it's not even like, oh, he starts fighting people and starts putting them down. Like, no, he disintegrates people and just blasts them and just starts murdering people on sight. It's kind of awesome. But he starts murdering people on sight. And then but when she's in danger, instead of, murdering her, his first instinct is to save her. And somehow along the way, he gets injured by Eternium because for whatever reason, Eternium is his weakness. It injures him. That's never explained, ever explained. But Eternium hurts him and he's knocked out. So they take him back to um, her apartment to recuperate. And he's when he wakes up, her little son is there, like all the little boys, and it's just talking at him a mile a minute, telling him, "Okay, now that you're here, you can be the hero of the country. You can save us from Intergang. You can free us, and do all these things for us." And he's like, Teth Adam is like, "I am no hero. I am not a hero. I can't do all these things for you." But the little boy just keeps, going at him, going at him, going at him, and would not let up. So Teth Adam just smashes through a wall because he does not use doors. And this movie is just like, if they like to talk about destruction porn in these action movies, oh my God, so many things are destroyed, so many buildings, so many things are just destroyed in this movie, and just walls are just constantly destroyed in this movie. He does not use doors at all. He is constantly just walking through walls, and not in the Martian Manhunter way. He just blasts through walls, crushing them, walk through walls. The boy and the woman, they get out on the street and they're surrounded by Intergang, and they're about to be crushed by Intergang again, and he comes to their rescue, albeit a bit late, but he eventually comes to their rescue. He begins to take down Intergang in broad daylight in front of all of the people of the city, and one by one by one. And then the people start seeing this and start cheering him on, and they're like, they like they basically, like the little boy, are seeing, they're like thinking, oh my gosh, we have a savior. This guy is saving us from Intergang, and he's come to save us. And but while he's doing this, he has gotten the attention of Amanda Waller and Hawkman. Now, I like Hawkman. I don't know why he's working with Amanda Waller, of all people. Like, he should know better than that. He should know she should not be trusted. He should know, of all the people in the world, you should not trust Amanda Waller. You should not be working with Amanda Waller. But that is another discussion for another time. But whatever. He decides to work with Amanda Waller and says that Teth Adams should be put down and blah, 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 blah. So he gets together his Justice Society of America, which is Dr. Fate, the Red Tornado, and I can't remember the last boy's name. I think it's Adam Smasher or Adam something or whatever. I think it's Adam Smasher. I don't know. It's the Adam something. And they get in his plane, and it's a very dope scene. It comes out of the ground, and he flies away, and they fly to the city, and they eventually get there while Teth Adam is still sort of taking down the Intergang, and then they start fighting Teth Adam, like, because they take it upon themselves, I guess, to liberate the people from Teth Adam, but they don't realize that the people are booing them, like, leave him alone, like, we don't need your help. And when this is happening, I'm like, see, this is why people don't like America. You coming in and putting your nose into something that ain't none of your business. This was none of your business. What he was this none of this was none of your business. What he was doing was none of your business. Him coming up in there taking care of Intergang, like, Intergang was occupying this land all this time, and you, the Justice Society of America, had nothing to do with them occupying these people illegally for all these years. But then when Teth Adam came up and started clearing people out, now all of a sudden you want to come do something. I felt the same way those people felt on the ground. Like, why all of a sudden is it your business? But I digress. So they went and they had this long extended fight with Teth Adam, and Teth Adam was basically kicking their ass. They could not take him down. It was a very long fight. Eventually, there's a conversation between Teth Adam and Hawkman, with Hawkman telling him that trying to get him to, force him to say Shazam, saying, you need to say this, you need to say Shazam, and you need to put yourself down for the good, for the good of the people, blah, 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 blah. And Teth Adams saying, I ain't gonna say shit. You can't make me. I am a god. You can't stop me. I am not going to listen to you. And so, as they were arguing back and forth, most of the time, Dr. Fate just sort of sat by like a patient old father and let them argue. And he did not participate in their arguments because I guess he could see the future, and he saw it was futile to join in the argument, because he's like, the future is the future, and this argument is not going to change it. I don't understand why Hawkman didn't realize that, maybe you should take Dr. Fate's lead since he knows the future, but whatevs. Um, so eventually the little boy gets kidnapped, and Teth Adam and the Justice Society, go off on their separate ways to try to get the boy back. So eventually they come together in the end, and they get information about the location of where they're keeping the little boy, and the mother forces them all to work together, because she's like, this is my son, and I don't care about your issues. I don't care about your problems. I don't care, what you got going on, but we're going to do things my way to get this boy back. And of course, the man wants to get the crown. So she's like, I'm taking him this crown. I'm getting my son back. And of course, Hawkman did not want to give the crown back, but she's like, I don't care. You don't get a say in this. so she's taking the crown. She is getting her son back. So they go, and as they're approaching the place, Hawkman goes into, okay, This is the plan. And before he's halfway through saying the plan, they look around and Teth Adam is already outside kicking ass and not taking names because he just murders. Murder, death, kill. That's what he does. And so they had no choice but to just go out there and just join him, because he's already started. No plan. So they go out there and they finally get to where the boy is being held, and the mother goes to exchange the crown for her son, and the guy, it's the guy who had who was the traitor, the friend who betrayed her, and he gets the crown from her, and he basically reveals that he is the descendant of the king that was destroyed by Teth Adam all those thousands of years ago. And he wants to, the crown is rightfully his, and he wants to take back the kingdom that belonged to him and rule and blah 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 blah. And so he wants to take this crown back. But instead of exchanging the crown for the little boy, he goes to shoot the little boy. And this infuriates Teth Adam. So he goes, I don't know, supersonic. I don't know what to call it, but he just goes ham. And thankfully he's faster than a speeding bullet, so he's speeding towards the little boy to stop the bullet, but he's also immediately just going, like, you see his eyes lighting up, and he's going, just all this energy is radiating off his body, and you're realizing that what is happening to him now is what happened to him when he destroyed the palace all those thousands of years ago. So at the same time as when this is happening, Dr. Fate and the Atom Smasher, because Atom Smasher, like, I guess his thing is he can immediately, like, he can grow large. So he grows large, and he can grab people. So I think he grabs the little boy, or he grabs whoever is closest to him, and Dr. Fate gets whoever's closest to him under his shield. They shield whoever they can shield. Then Teth Adams stops the bullet, and then all the other bad guys who are not shielded gets blasted by Teth Adams, energy, or whatever it is that you call it. And yes, they're dead. Very, very dead. So basically, when he calms down, he realizes that he was out of control, and he really does need to put himself down. So he tells Hawkman, okay, you need to make sure that I cannot say, Shazam again, whatever. So they put him in Amanda Waller's prison. And then, of course, after that, they go off, and then a whole bunch of nothing happens, which lets me know that the movie isn't over. And then you see that the betrayer, he goes down into hell, and he gets his own little hell version of Shazam, where he gets some sort of powers, and he becomes like his own little demon version of Shazam, and he comes back to Earth looking like a little demon with the crown is now crown becomes these horns on his head. Whatever, he's changed. Okay. He's all red and changed, and he comes back with all this power. Justice Society decides they are Hawkman's like, we got to keep him from sitting on that throne and all this other stuff. And my thing is like, why do you think you can stop him? Why isn't your first thought like, we need to call Amanda Waller and have her wake up Shazam? That should have been the first. That was my first thought. I mean, not Shazam, Teth Adam. That was my first thought. That should have been your first thought. You just put him in the prison. Why wouldn't that be your first thought? To immediately go back and get him? But of course, it wasn't his first thought because he's stubborn. But it was the thought of Dr. Fate. But of course, they're only going to say it was his thought because he saw the future and because he knew the future and he knew that Teth Adam had to do it. But it's like anybody with common sense, it should have been they first thought that only Teth Adam had the power to go up against this fool. Dr. Fate locked them out of the palace and then started distracting the dude, and then he started, using his power to talk to Teth Adam in his sleep and wake him up and tell him like, hey dude, we need you out here, wake up, say Shazam, come up here and kill this dude. And so so Teth Adam woke up and he started fighting all these dudes, and it was kind of cool because he didn't have no powers. He still had this thing in his mouth, so he couldn't say Shazam, but he was able to fight all these dudes while he was depowered. And so it lets you know that even when he was a slave, he must have had some moves because he was fighting all these dudes and taking them down, and made it to the water and was swimming on his way out. I think he must have got shot or something. He got injured or something, but he still made it to the water. He only had to make it to, swim to the top, take the thing out of his mouth, say Shazam. But Dr. Fate ended up dying. And somewhere without Dr. Fate sort of calling to him and egging him on, he, I guess lost his motivation and was somewhere in the afterlife with his wife and his son, and was like, maybe I should stay here and just, stay here and die and just live happily ever after in the afterlife. And his son was like, no, you don't deserve, this is not where you need to be. So after a long time, he finally says Shazam, and then comes back at the last minute and fights the dude. And then with the help of the Justice Society holding the dude down, takes the horns off his head and destroys the dude, blah, 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 blah. They win. It ends with the Justice Society, with him and Hawkman having a little truce and blah, 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 blah. They go on their way. They leave him behind. And then the little boy telling him, okay, Teth Adam is a little too old fashioned. You need to have a more updated name. And he's like, well, what should I have? And then they flash cut to the title, Black Adam. They never call him Black Adam at all throughout the movie. Kind of like they never called Captain Marvel in the Captain Marvel movie, which is why we couldn't call Captain Marvel, but we had to call him Shazam. But they only call Captain Marvel Carol Danvers. See, I'm still bitter over that. They still only call her Carol Danvers, but she gets to be Captain Marvel, but Captain Marvel has to be called Shazam. It doesn't make sense. He should be Captain Marvel, and she should just be Carol Danvers. But whatever. Rant over. Mid-credit scene. So Amanda Waller tries to pull up on Black Adam and, tries to exert authority over him. And he's like, whatever. And so he was like, ain't nobody on this earth that could tame me. And she's like, we got people, I know people who are not of this earth. And so then she calls Superman. And that little bitch comes. Why is Superman working with Amanda Waller? He should know better. All of them should know better. Why are they working with her? The chick is sus. Majorly sus. Why are they working with her? But yeah, I like the movie. I like Dwayne Johnson in the movie. I liked his rapport with the little boy. I liked even though Hawkman was getting on my nerves, I like Aldis Hodges in it. I like that he eventually got over himself and began to work with Dwayne Johnson. You know, I would like to see a Hawkman movie. That would be nice. One without Amanda Waller, please. A Justice Society movie would be great. Too bad they couldn't have a Dr. Fate in it. I would have loved to have seen a Justice Society movie with a live Dr. Fate where they didn't kill him off immediately. When Dr. Fate was talking and he was like, when he was saying at one point they don't need another white knight, and I was like, yes, say that. He was telling them they don't need another white knight, they need something darker. And I was like, oh my gosh, yes, no more white knights. Yes. I just it was just that line meant so much to me, and it meant so much coming from Pierce Brosnan. And it was so deep, especially in a movie where you have these superheroes coming from America to this country full of people that did not ask for their help, that that at that point did not need their help, and who actually had needed their help for is something else for many many years and did not get their help. But once they, it just hit on so many different levels. Yeah, liked it. There was a lot to like in this movie. So those are my thoughts on Black Adam. What did you like about the film? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.